U.S. experts warns France and Germany will throw the Americans under the bus. Shalom, shalom. Before I begin, all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Racha HaKodash. I want to give double honors to the elders and the apostles of the great millstone that taught me this truth and rule well. And shalom, peace and blessings to all you sincere Akim out there pushing this word in all sincerity and truth. To the 144,000, the house of David, shalom. It's Brother Dama Agabar here from GMS Los Angeles with another lesson. And this one is from this article from Zero Hedge, all right, which I already read the title, saying that France and Germany will throw the Americans under the bus, all right? And this lines up with biblical prophecy, okay? Because we do understand that those nations that are confederate with Esau, that are confederate with America, the beast, the dragon and the beast, man, that some of their allies are going to eventually turn on them, man. All right. And what's one of the main reasons why France and Germany, which are two of the strongest members of the European Union, which when you combine the European Union and NATO with America, what do you get? You get the beast, man. See, here it is right here. This is what biblically is known as the beast, the beast and the great whore. The great whore being America that sits upon the beast, which is NATO and the European Union. All right. And as you can see, man, this situation that's going on with Russia and Ukraine and these different European Union countries is that it's causing a rift and it's causing America and NATO, the beast and the dragon, to have a separation, because ultimately America is going to interfere with these European unions being able to have affordable and needful natural gas, which they all get from Russia. All right. And as I read some of this article, I'm going to hop around a bit. You can see America is going to basically put France and Germany and a lot of these European nations who are allied to America in a tough situation, as far as dealing with getting their natural gas, which they get from Russia, man. And that's going to cause these different European nations to have to throw, like I said, throw America under the bus, separate themselves, because they're going to eventually have to do what's best in their interest, which is going to be to separate, from Babylon, man, because, the way that they're operating is going to cause them to, be without natural gas, man. And, which is detrimental to their society. So I'm just going to read a little bit of this article, make the points and get the scriptures, and Lord willing, you be edified. It says, U.S. President Joe Biden said after his meeting with German Chancellor Olaf Scholz that he will end the Nord Stream 2 gas pipeline from Russia to Europe if Moscow sent troops into Ukraine, which, that's going to cause a huge separation between Europe and Babylon if they cause this pipeline to be cut off between Russia and Europe, man. Because that's Russia, that pipeline is supplying a major part of natural gas to Europe. It says if Russia invades, which Russia has been saying that they don't have no plans on invading the Ukraine, they don't really have to invade the Ukraine. But, America keeps pushing that narrative, It says there will no longer be a Nord Stream 2, Biden said during a press conference with Schultz. We will bring it to an end. All right. It says when pressed for more details on just exactly how the U.S. can achieve this, Biden could only mutter, "I promise you, we will be able to do it." It says the American president, of course, found it difficult to answer this question because his country is not involved in the Nord Stream 2 project and has very little influence over it, you see? And that's what's going to cause a huge problem, man. That's the type of shit that'll cause friends to not be friends anymore, man. That'll divide allies, man. America has nothing to do with the Nord Stream pipeline, and they're going to go and shut it down, which is going to affect their European allies, man. That's going to be the whore fucking with the beast, man. It says the only thing Washington can hope for is that sustained pressure on European allies will make them capitulate to their demands, in which a lot of these nations are tired of America, man, even their own European allies, man. And they're asking a lot for these European allies to, get on board with what America is trying to do by shutting off this pipeline, which is, huge access to their natural gas from Russia, man. And I'm pretty sure it's a pretty sweet deal, It's probably not too expensive. It's probably the best deal that they can get, And America is looking to ruin that and get their allies to do it, just to get along, to get on their program and have influence over it, but it's going to affect their European allies, man. It says, however, the reality is that Germany, Europe's most important country alongside France, has its own economic interests that must be served and not compromised for the sake of the U.S. And that's what America is trying to do. It's trying to compromise that economic interest of their European allies, man, which eventually is going to lead them to ultimately throwing America under the bus. It's going to cause them eventually, like the scriptures say, to burn this whore with fire, man, because America is basically, it's going to eventually end up fucking up the best interests of all these different European allies, of Babylon the Great, man. Let me get this real quick. Which one do I want to get first? No, let me read a little bit more. It says, the Berlin has defended its ability to complete the pipeline despite the fact that the U.S. opposes the project in any way possible. Washington has no interest in the fact that the Nord Stream 2 pipeline is vital for the German economy and industry. You see, so America is looking to cut up a vital component to Germany, man, which is one of the strongest European Union members, man. And you better believe if Germany ends up getting screwed, they're gonna throw America under the bus, and other European countries are gonna get along board with Germany because America is fucking up their interests, man. You know, they're gonna. It's just too big of a situation for them to for them to compromise just for the sake of the U.S. trying to throw its weight around Russia, man. Like I said, through the spirit, a lot of these nations are tired of America, man. They're all tired of this whore, man. She a old, worn out, blew out, old school whore, man, that nobody really wants to deal with anymore, man. And this could be the very thing that's going to lead to prophecy being fulfilled. And let me get this in Daniel's, all right? And this is dealing with the Roman Empire, but as you should know, this when you read this, it's talking about the revised Roman Empire, all right, which is Babylon the Great. This says Daniel's 2:40, and the fourth kingdom, which we know is the Roman Empire, all right? When you go through, the dream that Nebuchadnezzar had, that fourth kingdom that was made of iron was basically the Roman Empire, all right? But what happened? uh, it fell, but it came back. It was reborn as Babylon the Great. Through the Renaissance period, that's when that wound was healed, and basically Rome started to be, it started to come back during the Renaissance. 14th, 1500s. Up until this point right now. It says, "And the fourth kingdom shall be strong as iron." And why is it as strong as iron? Because of its military, man. All right. It says, "For as much as iron breaketh in pieces and subdueth all things, and as iron that breaketh all these, shall it break in pieces and bruise." And that's why basically America is sitting on top of the hill. That's why it has the ability to tell its European Union allies to compromise themselves for the interests of America, because America is the tip of the spear. America, its military is what basically gives it control and sway over all of its European members, man. You know, it says, and whereas thou sawest that the feet and the toes, because it's dealing with the last part, the revised Roman Empire, it says, "And the feet and the toes, part of potter's clay and part of iron, the kingdom shall be divided." You see, and it is divided, man. I remember when President Trump was in office and he was talking shit against the European allies, telling them, "Y'all need to move, y'all need to pick up, move your weight, handle particular situations." He was down talking European unions for not pulling their weight, you know and they haven't forgot that, and it's still happening to this day, because you have a lot of these European Union countries like what was it, Portugal, Ireland, Italy, pigs, what was it, um South Africa, I think, and Greece. They were falling upon hard times, man. They were very, very weak, and they're a part of the European, a part of the beast system, part of this union between America and NATO, and America, NATO, and the European Union. They were very weak, man, and they were being, they were, their economies was going under. They were falling upon hard times. They needed to be financed. Their government was going bankrupt. They needed to be financed. But you had certain countries like Germany and France that wasn't part of the pigs, but they were part of those strong members of NATO, man. So you got some that are strong and some that are weak, man. It says, and they're divided. It says, "But there shall be in it there shall be in it of the strength of the iron, which is the military of America, for as much as thou sawest the iron mixed with miry clay. And that's ultimately this right here, man. This is America, the strength of America, allied with NATO and the EU, but you have strong countries in NATO, like France and Germany, and you have a lot of weak ones like Portugal, Ireland, Italy, Greece, Spain, so some are strong, some are weak, and they've all come together, but eventually that union is going to be broken, man. And how can we see that happening is through these different conflicts right here, man. How America is trying to get these European unions their uh, uh, um, to compromise their economic interests just for for the sake of America wanting to drag Russia into this war and not to go into the Ukraine. It says, and as the toes of the feet were part of iron and part of clay, so the kingdom shall be partly strong and partly broken. You see, that's what I was explaining to you, with the pigs and Germany and France, and you got America. Some are strong, some are weak, some are partly broken, some are doing a little bit better, man. But now we can see how these nations are not they're not mingling, and they're not mingling because they're basically not all on the same page, man. America is telling them, look, do what the hell we tell you to do because we're holding you up, we're propping you up, we got the military, so just do what we do. We don't give a damn about your economic interests, man. We don't care that y'all cool with Russia and y'all got decent contracts and getting your natural gas from them. Look, if we tell you to fuck them, then which these Germany and France is like, look, man, look, we ain't finna do that shit. We're not finna fuck up our situation, and compromise ourselves just because you say so. All right. It says, and whereas thou sawest the iron mixed with miry clay, they shall mingle themselves with the seed of men, but they shall not cleave one to another, even as iron is not mixed with the clay. You see, so you can see how they're not cleaving to each other right now, and especially with this situation dealing with Russia and the Ukraine. All right, and this pipeline. It says, nonetheless, to try and appease Washington, Schultz stressed to journalists that Germany was absolutely united and that we will do the same steps and they will be very, very hard to Russia, which that's bullshit. They're just saying that, man, because like I said, they got Germany got too much to lose, you know, and screwing up this deal with Russia and this pipeline deal. It says, this is on the assumption, though, that Russia will invade Ukraine, something that the Kremlin has continually stressed it has no ambition of doing, despite the constant warnings and rhetoric emanating from Washington. Both Berlin and Paris understand that Russia does not want to invade Ukraine and desperately want the manufactured crisis to end, you see? So Russia ain't even talking about going into Ukraine, but you got America constantly saying that and pushing that and doing that and telling Berlin and Paris, which is Germany and France, look, man, y'all just be on the ready, to cut this, to cut them off once we tell you to cut them off, which is going to cause a problem, man. That's how they're going to be divided. Or is that's not the point I want to get? Another precept. It goes, Paris, like Berlin, fears the prospects of their own countries becoming frontline states yet again in either a renewed Cold War between Russia and the U.S. or more frighteningly, an actual war, he added. Following talks on Friday in Moscow between Russia and the French President Vladimir Putin and Emmanuel Macron, the Financial Times, citing French sources, reported that Russia had moved towards de-escalating the situation around Ukraine. What's the point I want to get? You see, so as you can see, France and Russia have good relations. They can sit down and talk and deal, as without the tension, without the bullshit, But you got America's trying to intervene and step in between that, man, which is going to cause France and Germany, basically they're going to get more screwed in that deal than America would, all right? But the French and Germany, they have to consider that, man. And like I just said a couple of sentences up, France and Germany are not trying to be on the front lines with a war with Russia, which war is going to break out anyway. But guess what? It's going to get to the point to where France and Germany are going to, like I said, it's going to throw America under the bus, and its allies are going to turn on America, man. They might, which we know there's going to be a war between America and Russia, and at the last minute, France and Germany can pull out and double cross Babylon, man, towards the end of the deal, which we believe through prophecy is going to happen. It says Let me go down here. Yeah, see, here it goes. It says, which European countries depend on Russian gas? You see, share of gas supply from Russia and selected European countries. Look at that. You got North Macedonia, Finland, Bulgaria. I think these are all EU members, man, which are basically all allies to America, man. And they're getting their natural gas from Russia. You see, Belgium, Bulgaria. Didn't it say Bulgaria on there? Yep, Bulgaria, Finland, Slovakia. Shit, Slovakia. What the fuck, man? The Slovakia on here? Let's see. Yep, Slovakia, Romania, Portugal, Poland, and these are all European Union members, and which a lot of them are all part or allied to Babylon the Great, man. Look at that: Rome, Ireland, Italy, Greece. Yeah, see, that was the pig. Uh, yep, Portugal, Italy. Oh, it was Italy, Ireland, Greece, and what was the S? Was it South Africa or Spain? I think it was Spain. All right. Yeah, it was Spain. That was the pig. See, that's those countries that are partly weak, that are part of the clay. You know, and you can see there. A lot of them are all dependent upon Russian gas, man. Look at that. North Macedonia 100%, Finland 94, Bulgaria 77. Look at that, 70, 49. You know, basically damn near. Well, except for France, pretty much half of their fucking their gas is dependent upon Russia, man. And you got America trying to get these countries to, say the hell with Russia. If we tell you that, the hell with them, break the deal, that you see how much they're going to be affected by it, man. So they're going to have to think twice and be like, you know what, we don't know about this. Look at Germany, 50% of their gas comes from Russia, man. So you can see how, things are going to get real sketchy between these two. What's the point? Oh, here it goes. It says, in the view of the former congressional official, the two key allies would surely throw the Americans under the bus, which they will because Paris thinks that would weaken Americans' unwanted hold over European affairs. You see, so you even have some of these European. Is Paris a part of the EU? Yeah, Paris is France. See? Let me see. Yeah, see? So France is like, look, man, shit. Because like I said, a lot of these European Union countries over there, man, they really don't like America having all this say so and sway over them, man. Because America is basically a lot of the times make decisions that's not in the best interest of these countries, man, and they get pissed off, man. Didn't you just have? I think I forget who it was. I know it was Australia or France. They were pissed at America because they gave Australia all these submarines and nukes that they wanted, man. But they ended up giving it to Australia, which pissed off. I think it was France, one of these European countries, man. So you can see, man, there's these countries, the EU, NATO and the EU and America, the beast in the system, man. A lot of them don't see eye to eye, man. There's a lot of tension, but like it says in Daniel 2, when you mix iron and miry clay, it don't mix, man. It says, in his way, the two European powerhouses, ignoring the incessant complaints from Poland and the Baltic states, are themselves de-escalating a crisis in Ukraine that Washington and Kiev manufacture seemingly out of nowhere. In addition, although the Europeans are vowing to respond to any Russian invasion of Ukraine, which Russia said they're not planning on doing that, and in this way shows unity with the US, they fully understand that Moscow has no plans for such an invasion. For this reason, Germany is completely unwilling to sacrifice its energy and industrial needs for the sake of appeasing Washington's hostile anti-Russian policy. See? And that's how Daniel's second chapter is being fulfilled, man. How that iron in the miry clay is not what did it say? Uh, they shall mingle themselves with the seed of men, but they shall not cleave one to another, even as iron is not mixed with clay. You see? So they're all divided, man. And we can see it playing it out in real time through these different situations, all right? And let me get this last precept and I'm gonna get out of here. This is Obadiah 1:7. All the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. Remember, they're gonna end up going into World War III, man. And you're gonna have a lot of these European nations telling America, look, we're with you, let's go to the front lines and go to the battle, man. And then what they're gonna do, they're gonna throw America under the bus. They're gonna double cross and burn this whore with fire, man. Let me see if I can get that next. It says, the men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee. Who was that? European Union, NATO members, France, Germany, and a lot of those other European nations and NATO nations are gonna deceive America, man. and prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is none understanding in him. See? And that's where it's pretty much going. Let me see. Burn her fire. See if that'll pop up, and then I'll close this out. You know. But we can see where everything is going, man. We know it's going to happen because Scripture says it's going to. The prophecy says it's going to happen, and we can see it happening, man. You know, and it's just going to escalate more and more. You know, a lot of these countries are not going to use their financial and economic and industrial interests on the sake of America anymore, especially as allies, man. Yep, it says, "In the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast." What are those 10 horns? Those different European nations, man, that joined itself with America to create the beast, which is NATO and the EU. These shall hate the whore. Who was the whore? America, Babylon the Great, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. You see, they're gonna, like I said, this article said they're gonna throw America under the bus pretty soon, and eventually they're all gonna burn America and burn this whore with fire, man. All right. So with that, hey, Lord willing, you were edified. Call halal Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai for putting the spirit upon me to do this lesson. Lord willing, you were edified and fed. To the next lesson, shalom.